What came first, Deepa's desire to make Midnight's Children, or your desire, Salman, to adapt your own book as a screenplay?
There had been attempts to make Midnight's Children before that hadn't come to anything, and so I wasn't thinking about it. And then Deepa and I were having dinner in Toronto, and she asked me who had the rights to Midnight's Children, and I said, as it happens, I have the rights. and yeah, she said, well, can I do it? And I said, yes. That was the deal. It really was. And after that, I mean, this is well known, but we'll repeat it again. After that, I negotiated fiercely with David for the rights, and we sold the rights for $1 for 2 years with an option to renew for a further $1. And then I agreed to write the screenplay, and that was $3. So you see, I'm a very tough bargainer.
It was a labor of love. Come on, Salman. For an old cynic, come on.
No, of course, it had to be a labor of love because there's no money involved.
Can I ask you, can you hear me? No. Can I then ask you, Salman, what it was like for you to actually work on adapting your own novel? Presumably that would have been both an exhilarating and a daunting prospect, especially given, you know, after you've written it, it's become such an accoladed and beloved novel.
Yeah, but I always thought that I was the one who could be most disrespectful of it. You know, and I was the one who could rip it apart and put it back together another way. But just the good thing was that Deepa and I had such similar ideas about how to do that. You know, so when we would sat down to discuss how it might go, you know, we found that we were saying the thing that the other person wanted to say to us, and that happened a lot. You know, so in that sense, it became a very straightforward collaboration because we weren't. I think when it's difficult is when you and the director are not pulling in the same direction. You know, but what became clear very quickly is that we were trying to make the same movie. You know, and that gives you confidence. You know, and certainly I had great confidence in her.
It's not. Sorry. Maybe we can get somebody to. I have already signaled for that.
This one seems.
Then can I ask you, Deepa, about the work that you did around the sort of research for making what is a really epic film in many ways, and there are many historical moments that you've touched on before, for example, in your Elements trilogy. Did you return to research from that for those films, or was this a big, fresh enterprise in that sense?
Making Midnight's Children was unlike anything I'd ever done. And I couldn't, you know, I guess subconsciously you go back to what you've done and you sort of think about it. But in this case, I didn't think about it for too long because it felt like such a different film. My preparation for it, for example, for Midnight's Children, you know, began at a very, very basic level. And I keep on, and, you know, Salman says he saved my life, which is probably true, because I gave up smoking for this film. And that was like really weird. And then I did something really even stranger. I went to the gym. So, you know, it was, you know, understanding or some kind of an idea that what we were about to do would not only just take my, you know, my emotional and my mental, wouldn't need, you know, that kind of focus, but also I had to be physically fit. So it's interesting. I mean, I haven't smoked since, so that's good.
That's very good news for all of us. David, can I ask you, because this is a big production feat in many respects, what kind of challenges were involved and how long did the process take?
Well, the entire process took over 4 years, but the actual production part, it probably took about almost 2.5 to 3 years. And of course, for anyone that's read the book, you can see it's multi-layered and many complexities and so many characters and so many different places and times. So there were 64 different locations in 70 days of shooting. So you can imagine we were moving quite quickly around from one to another, and even finding these locations, and also dressing them. The demands on the art direction were just incredible. But the amazing thing about it is that, and I know many people say this, but this collaboration was so sympathetic, and so all of the difficulties we faced were somehow swept away by the kind of collegiality we had. And I can say that you'll see that in our body language there's no conflict between what I'm saying and what we actually feel.
I'm going to speak for yourself. No, but it's really, I think also we did do this the hard way. We decided not to go to a studio, but to fund it independently, which also in the aftermath of the financial crash was not an easy thing to do. And that's something for which, David has really immense credit. I mean, he brought this film in, he found us the money to make it. But it meant that when we had managed to do that, it meant that the only people we had to satisfy were the three of us. Basically, if David and Deepa and I thought that we wanted to go a certain way, that was the way we would go in every stage of the filmmaking. And so it gave us a freedom that was very worth it. It meant that we probably didn't have as much money as we could have got, but on the other hand, we had total creative freedom. Mm-hmm. And at least at the end of it, whatever people may think of the film, it is the film we wanted to make.
Yeah. Could I ask our fabulous cast to maybe talk, each of you, to how you became involved in the project and what it was like, both working with Deepa, and to what degree you worked with Salman to, develop your understanding of your characters?
This is a book that's been sort of very present in my life and very present in my family for many years. I sort of think that, in my family you don't have a bar mitzvah or something like that. You just read Midnight's Children and then you become a man. And so I read this when I was quite young, and I've had the story sort of percolating in my consciousness for many years. But I met Deepa in Toronto, and after our initial meeting, during which I never ever in my wildest dreams assumed that this would be on the cards, I think somehow, thank heavens, she thought of me for the role, and we started speaking about it. And then subsequently I met Salman in New York and had a very, very surreal moment when you go to Salman Rushdie's house and sit down with him to talk about Midnight's Children, which is just very amazing and exciting. And then, from there on, it was a big journey. And I think, we sort of worked together to craft this character and to give me, who, I'm from England and America, sort of the context in order to be able to embody this iconic Indian character. And it was a labor of love, but it was a labor for all of us. I mean, we developed it together, and I think that it's hopefully something that shows in the film.
When I read the book, Midnight's Children, it taught me about history of my own country in a way which textbook didn't teach me. It taught me different aspects of it, different layers in depth. I had long conversations with my dad and my mom. My dad loves history. And when Deepa told me that I could be part of the film, I was ready to do any role in it. But when she told me I could be Parvati, for a sec, it took me a while to actually believe that this was the reality. And then we had this crazy workshop, which was, I thought I'll die by the end of it, and I thought Deepa will hate me by the end of it, or she'll throw me out of the film, and which she didn't, and I have great respect for her for that, immense love for her. She sort of pushed me beyond my boundaries, gave me wings, and she just threw me from the cliff, and she said, now just fly. For me, that means the world to me, that someone trusted in me more than I could. Someone saw Parvati in me when I didn't. And I'm thankful to Salman to write a role, to write a book like this. And thankful to the entire cast, thankful to David, thankful to Satya for Such a wonderful co-star. I remember days when I didn't know what I was doing, and I'll call Satya, and Satya's like, "Don't call me. I don't know what I'm doing either." But just being there and listening to my confusions and just being a lovely co-star means a lot to me. And this film has given me beautiful memories, which will always stay with me. So it's special.
I read Midnight's Children when I was in India in 1982, making a television series called The Jewel in the Crown. And I'm amazed that it's taken so long to get to the screen. I met Deepa in Bangkok, I think 5 or 6 years ago, something like that, at a film festival. And we both expressed a desire to work with each other, which I was very flattered by. And I get a call from Liz Carlson, who is the UK production end of this film, who produced a film for me a few years ago, to ask me if I wanted to do this film with Deepa Mehta. And I was overjoyed, especially as I was going to play the end of the British Empire.